Lara Croft had social media today and she was super into boxing, this is what I think she'd post. I really just want to talk about the aesthetics behind Lara Croft and what I think her style would be, what she'd be wearing, and also tie it in with boxing, because I've noticed on TikTok under my series there have been a lot of comments of people saying they have boxing, kickboxing, or Muay Thai as their interest, and they're wondering how you build an aesthetic around it. And so when someone asked me to do a part 2 on Lara Croft, I was like, say no more. I can do this. And it's going to be a little bit similar to the first video. If you haven't seen it, it's on TikTok. I'll link it somewhere. First of all, I don't think it would be Lara per se, the one posting on her socials. I think it would be the guy who's her assistant, the voice in her ear on the other end while she's on her missions. I think it would be him who's snapping the pictures of her and the cool pictures of her that she would then share on social media. I don't think she would be one of those girls who are self-obsessed on social media. I think she would know that social media is a tool and she would know how to use it well. That being said, I really think if she were into boxing, I think this is what her aesthetic would look like. This is what her boxing vibe would be. When it comes to her equipment, I started thinking about her gym bag, like what kind of gym bag she would bring. I was trying to picture her walking into a gym. Like if there was a scene in a movie where she's walking in, what is she wearing? So I made this mood board and I was like, I think she would wear really cool sunglasses. The t-shirt would probably be optional, but low-key, I think she might wear a t-shirt if she knows she's gonna be photographed, because she would promote her own boxing school. And I think she would have a boxing school, and I think it would be somewhere local in her city. I think she's from England. And I just picture her having a whole boxing club that she uses to have for either underprivileged youth. She would help out there, or orphans, because she knows she's an orphan too. And I think she would have some sort of gym, because I think she would really believe that physical activity and fitness, all of that is very important. So it kind of makes sense that she would have that. And so in my imagination, I was like, I think she would call it Croft Training Department. So then I just started making this mock-up of different things. And I think she would wear her own merch, because I think she would try to promote it. And she would be a celebrity by the time that we would all know of it. And so I made this tank top because she's just known for tank tops too. And they're a little bit basic, but they also go with a lot of things. I made this little collage of just random things that I think she would be wearing as she walks into the gym. And so I included a leather bag in there and these neutral colored boxing gloves. I think she would have really interesting boxing gloves. I found a few that I really liked, but I think she would have just different ones for different things. I don't think she's materialistic in that way, but I think her assistant would probably be the one to either buy things, or brands would just send them to her and then he would just set them out for her. That's how I think that would go. But I definitely think she would have a pair of moto boots. I think she would lean into that. It's super trendy right now, but I think she would have a boot that she would just be able to throw on and go. And then she would have a leather bag that she would just throw all of her stuff in, because I think she would love stuff of quality. I couldn't picture her wearing or using one of those nylon gym bags. I just really feel like leather is her thing. It would either be leather or a really sleek. I was looking for a hard shell backpack and I couldn't find one big enough to fit boxing gloves and an extra pair of shoes and stuff. And then since we're talking about bags, there's also this other one that I found, and it's a really cool cowhide. I just think she would definitely love leather because it's durable and it's a vibe. I think she would have really cool bags, and her shoes would be really interesting, but they would look kind of basic, but just slightly elevated. So for instance, the tank top that she wears, I think that someday she might just wear a plain tank top, but I always feel like she probably would just have something that makes it slightly edgier. So I love this tank top because it has the buckle straps. She would probably pair it with a flowy bottom, pants with a bunch of pockets. And then I love these pants with the little bow detailing and the silk. I think she would just balance masculine and feminine so well. She would have the best statement pieces. Every time I go to the thrift store now, I'm looking for stuff like this. But I think she would probably either have her own jewelry brand, or she would work closely with a local family-run jeweler. And I think that they would make custom jewelry for her off of things that she would find on her adventures. And I think she would just have really cool stacks, really cool bracelets, interesting earrings, but then also really good quality basics. I could see her with an anklet that she pairs with a sandal, and just really easy stuff, but it's like the stuff that she wears, she treasures because they have meaning to her. But then her mom had this one necklace that her dad gave her. It's the cord necklace with the jade stone, and I just think that she probably would do something like that. I think she would have the coolest stuff. But then again, she was always going to be working with this local family jeweler who just puts meaning into everything they do. I started thinking about the jewelry. I came across this bracelet, and once I saw this bracelet, I was like, you know what? Everyone has keys. What would Lara Croft have on her key ring? What would her key ring look like? And so then I found these two and I was like, oh, this is it. She probably would pick up a random tooth, little jade stone, some kind of something that she stole maybe, or she took, or some kid gifted to her. And I think she would take it and she would put it on a keyring. But another celebrity that ties in really well with the Lara Croft aesthetic is Bella Hadid. Bella Hadid has some really cool looks that I think Lara Croft would look like modern day time. So I'm just gonna share the pictures that I've found of Bella Hadid just pulling off the looks. They're so simple, but they're just really nice, beautiful looks. I love how she has the sunglasses. She has like those necklaces I was talking about. But I just think that, man, Bella Hadid would pull it off really well. So then going back to boxing, I feel like her home gym would look different from the place that she is hardcore training. But we're gonna talk about her nice gym. I think her nice gym would probably look like this, super light and airy, really beautiful, just very aesthetic. I think the wood and the earthiness and the zen feel is just, I love it. So then going back to boxing. So if you have boxing as an interest and you're trying to decide, how do I build an aesthetic for this? To pick what is it that you loved about that and figure out how can I tie that back into my interest, or thing that I love doing regularly. And I feel like the ways to show personality and your interest is to just show more of the process, more of how you go about doing something like that. So that's why I always think about that action shot. What are you doing prior? What are you doing after? I always talk about the locker photos because I just want to know what people are bringing. I think if I were to start with the Lara Croft aesthetic, I'm like, what would I pick first? I think I would definitely look for bags that remind me of her. And then I would move on to shoes because I love a good black pointed shoe. I also really love moto boots, but I'm still on the hunt for ones that I like. But those are a little bit of the Lara Croft aesthetic. I'm sorry, this was very all over the place and it's very rambly, but I just had to share.